This will be part 2 of Amos, and we're going to let me turn the lights on and get started here. Oops, how come that didn't pop up? Guess I got to click on it a little bit better. Okay, here we still need to know the correct kings or names. And then this text here, this was cleaned up from what did in the first video. So I'm going to go over that first. I guess I should mention that. So this is the beginning of Amos. And right now, this text I'm going to get rid of because it's not going to be able to connect to anything else. It's going to start out as prophecies. So here is the text that has a possibility. It's more or less Amos, what I've been calling now is a finger wagging at the people as an opener to his prophecy. And then we left off here. Because we don't need this. YHVH has spoken, but who can prophesy? Now that's not a very good beginning for this video, but the object is say assemble yourself in the hills. The only thing I can do is prophesied. He has said assemble. He said. As by the hills by Samara. I'm sure it was mountains and I needed to change that. I might have changed that and didn't put that highlighted because they never get it right. And see the great sins within it and the oppressions in its midst. Yes, I changed those 2 words too. Or I've added these 2 words. I think it was her, was there the female deity that they're trying to put into the text. And see how can you have a great sin? So the word great is not right. See their sins within it and the oppressions in its midst. I guess that would be okay. Now this is supposed to be our creator speaking here, but they do not know to do. They do not know how to do what is right. Since we already have our creator speaking, this is supposed to be him speaking, not right. These who have hoard up violence. Who hoard up violence. These are who like, it's the only thing I can think of. Why would you hoard anything? You don't hoard nothing. You don't hoard violence. and devastation in their fortress. But they couldn't because that's, wait a second, okay. Now we're going to start another prophecy. So there's not enough here for a prophecy. There's nothing here saying this. I'm looking, I don't see it. Thus says YV, an enemy, evil one surround, an enemy surrounding the land will pull down your strength from you, and your fortress will be looted. This is not, who is it talking about? It's talking about Samara, which was a forest, but vast. The enemy will surround the land, will pull down your strength from you, and your fortress will be looted. There is no text that says this, nor do we have much to go by here. Now we're going to start again. Thus says YV, just as the herder snatches from the lion's mouth. No, that is not true. A couple of legs or a piece of it here. No. So will be sons of Israel. Dwelling in Samaria. Because they're going to be snatched away. Well, our creator usually says more than this when he's doing this. And so, with the corner of a bed and the cover of a couch, hear and testify against the house of Jacob. I don't have any text here. These are also separate. I mean, really, it's this here. So you have 3, 2, and 1. There's no format here. Declares YV, the creator of hosts. Well, this we're on the day. I know I divided it, but we're the day I punish Israel's sins, I will punish the altar of Bethel, and the horns will be cut off, and they will fall to the ground. No, I've told you how Jehu comes and burns all the priest's bones on this altar in Bethel, and it's not altar, it's only one. So this is not true, and this, I just have a hard time with that. I will smite the winter house together with the summer house. They didn't have summer and winter houses. They're pretty close to the equator. Remember, Egypt's got the equator, so Israel's 100 miles away from the equator. Like, they have a summer and winter house. House of Ivory will also be perish, also be destroyed, and the great houses will come to an end. This is just stupid. Okay, Bashan has been gone for a long time. Hear this, we're on the hills by Samara, who oppress the poor, who crush the needy, who say with your husbands, bring now that we may drink. There was nothing wrong with drinking. It was being drunken all the time, that if they were really drunk and become like a drunkard, they were supposed to take that person in front of the elders and say, I can't do anything about this. They're not listening to me. And they would stone them to death. So this, to drink, no. To stone them to death, yes, already a law. So he wouldn't swear by his holiness. He doesn't need to. But to continue from up here, don't need this. He wouldn't speak in third person. Behold, the days are coming upon you when they'll take you away. Now that's more like it, but not with meat hooks. And the least of you with fishing hooks. No, that we can tell that has been added because of this. The days are coming upon you when they will take you away. You will go out through breaches in the wall. Meaning that the only way to do that is that they the enemy tear down the walls, and then they're going to run from there. So this is just not making any sense. Because they oppress the poor and crush the needy. No, you got to remember, he got rid of them because when he sent somebody and captured her, he was capturing because they sinned against him, meaning they went on to another god. This here is just not true. This is just somebody making up crap and sticking it in, and I don't know how it got approved to be in the Bible because the stories are so bad. And he would be speaking in third person again. Well, and now up above, he's destroyed it. Now it's enter Bethel, the city, and transgressions in Galilee multiply. Now that's way over there on the other side of the Jordan River, and probably doesn't exist anymore because it's been a few hundred years. It wouldn't be called that city. They aren't supposed to bring sacrifices every morning. Everything was for about sins. And we know tithes from the last one, the priest made that up to pay them. So this is just not there. Give a thank offering from that which is leavened. That's bread that's not set aside and it's risen. The yeast is risen in it. So the thank offering from that which is not leavened, and proclaim a goodwill offering, make them known. You're not supposed to boast or brag about your offerings. clean teeth and the lack of bread in all your places, yet you have not returned to me. I don't, this is just scattered. I'm not thinking of anything that's going to hook to this. Nothing's hooking after those say 2 verses. In all your lands, yet you have not returned to me. And then it's going to be, I will withhold rain from you, well, 3 months until the harvest. But the only thing is this is just one. Two, 3 sides to drink water, but would not be satisfied, yet you would not return to me. Our Creator can do more than send out a message to them and then tell them, well, if you don't come to me, I'm going to not let it rain and you're going to start having famine and shortage of food. Okay, they go through, they have the shortage of food, and they didn't return to it. And now what? I will smote you with scorching heat and then mildew. And the caterpillar will devour many gardens and fig trees and olive trees, and yet they have not returned to me. I sent a plague among you in the manner of Egypt. No, he didn't. Never did that. I slew your among them along with your captured horses. No. I made a stench in your camp to raise your nostrils. You did not return to me. Okay. Anything that you didn't return for, they're now getting. Declares YHVH, I overthrew you as the Creator overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh, we know that that's just an idiot writing here. And you are like a firebrand snatched from a blaze, yet you have not returned to me. You, Israel, because you will do this. Prepare to meet your Creator, Israel. Behold, he who forms the mountains and creates. This is just. He's killing them off, so why they don't see him? This would be a lie, because he just sends them to the abyss. They don't get to, anyone dying just doesn't get to see our Creator. So, and declare thoughts to a man what his thoughts are, who makes the dawn tread on high places on earth. His name, our Creator is telling us his name. This is kind of funny. Look, we're at chapter 5 and we've got nothing here. Boy, is this all going to be terrible like this? Hear this prophecy I take up for you as a dredge, tribes of Israel. She has fallen, she will not rise again. The virgin Israel. She lies neglected in her land, yet there's none to raise her up. Well, the state of the 3 verse, this would have to be not even mentioned as a dirge. Hear this prophecy I will take up for you, a dirge. Well, I would say for the house, well, it's not house, but for the tribes from Israel have fallen and will not rise again. Neglected their land and to raise up. Well, then again, now we're into another prophecy. So this was truth, but no. Oh, for thus says Lord, thus says YV, the city goes forth 1,000, will have 100 left, and the one which goes forth 100 will have 10 left in the house of Israel. Well, then again, now he's going to say another prophecy here. For thus says YV, the house of Israel, seek me that you may live. Do not resort to Bethel, and do not come to or cross over to Bathsheba. Forget those that will come to trouble. Seek me, not YV, that you may live, lest he break you down. Okay, now this would not be our Creator speaking then. So we can't have that text. Seek YV that you may live, lest he break forth like a fire and consume and none to quench. House of Joseph, I don't think so. Or Bethel, because I don't see any of this. Because what is he doing it for? Least he breaks out? Least he... He who made the Pleiades and the Orion. Now our Creator created these and named them after pagan gods. Jeez. Okay. But it's better well written, but it's still wrong. Or it's wrong. Pleiades are 7 daughters in heaven. But the stars are not heaven. But they call them hosts. Geez. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, so that's where he got the rain from, was from the sea, and then it pours over all the surface. And his name is YV. He who flashes forth with destruction upon the strong, as that destruction comes upon the fortress, they hate him who reproves at the gate, or who speaks integrity, because you impose heavy rent on the poor and extravagant tribute on the grain. Though you have built houses of well-hewed stones, yet you will not live in them. You have planted pleasant vineyards, and you will not drink their wine. For I know your transgressions are many, and your sins are great. Who distrusts the righteous accepts a bribe. And this one would have to be non-existent, because I don't have one. At such a time, the prudent person keeps silent. This one would be the one not used. Prudent person keeps silent for this evil time. Seek good and not evil, that you may live. us as creator of hosts. Be with you. I'm having a hard time putting that. But this one separates this up here. And yet we don't know anything what's being said here. Against who? And thus, I gotta have them saying something here somewhere, but let's just. Hate evil, love good. Establishes within the gates. Perhaps YB will be gracious to the remnant of Joseph. And then it starts another one. Well, let's see if we can have one last a while here. Okay, 25 minutes. Got a piece of something. They call the farmers to mourn and the professional mourners to laminate. Now this is idiots. And the farmer don't need where you call them to. And now the vineyards are wailing. Did you know that the plants speak? Because we just had the hills speak earlier, or the mountains speak. Because I will pass through the midst of you. Says YB. See, this is not connected to anything. And all we have is this prophecy. Not much there. Get rid of it. You are longing for the day of YB. For a purpose of the day of YB. Yeah, I would say that that's not needed. It will be darkness and not light. As when a male flees from a lion and a bear meets him, or goes home and leans his hand against the wall, and a snake bites him. Will not the day of YB be darkness instead of light, and gloom with no brightness in it? Well, it depends. He said it was going to be, so I don't understand this double text having to be sitting here. That's just, there it's like, will it, will, no. Either it is or it's not, it is or it isn't. This is getting rather boring, not finding anything to really start figuring out what I hate and reject your festivals, nor do I delight in your solemn assemblies, even though you offer up to me burnt offerings. I'm not kidding this. This is hurting my little mind here. Your grain offers are not accepted. I will not look. I will even look. I will not even look. Okay. I will not look at your peace offerings of your fatlings. Now, fatlings, what does that mean? Okay, that means that they're not able to go roam around. They're kept within it, and they get fatter quicker. I will not look at your peace offerings. This really doesn't need that. Take away from me the noise of your song. I will not listen to the sound of your harps. But let justice roll down like water and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Did you present to me with sacrifice and grain offerings in the wilderness for 40 years, house of Israel? Question mark. You carried along with you the sky, your king. This is like you brought along your gods, the star of your creators, which you made for yourself. For this I'll make you go into exile beyond Damascus. And we already know if it's our creator speaking, this doesn't need to be there. So, I don't get it. I'm not seeing anything because families of Israel, this would be both of them. This is not at this time. This doesn't happen at this time or in the future. They but I don't know who this is for. Oh well. Says YV prophesies, but then he says things. And you who are longing for the day of YV, for what purpose will the day of YV be? It will be darkness and not light. Oh, okay, I did all this. And this is what I don't know where it goes to. Okay. Woe to those who are at ease in Jerusalem or in Israel, because we're talking about Samara, but it's not mountains, it's hills. 4. Samara, the distinguished men of the foremost of kingdoms, to whom the house of Israel comes. Go over to here and look, and go from there to Helmuth the Great. Now, that doesn't make sense. Why would our greater call somebody else great, especially a pagan? If it's a go to, let's see what this is. Let's just see what this is. I'm thinking it's a king of some sort. No, it's land. It's a city. That city's way up there by Turkey. That could be. Yeah, this is Turkey. So and it's not a city, it's not great, a great city. Now he's just saying go here and go over there and go over here. Just look at all these kingdoms. Or is their territory greater than yours? Do you put off the day of and bring about the seat of violence? Those who recline in beds of iris hold their couches, eat lambs from their flock, and calves from the midst of stalls. So they had not cows but bulls who improvise at the sound of the harp, like David had songs for those symbols, who drank wine from the sacrificial bowl. Oh, this is wrong. They weren't sacrificial bowls. The bowls that they're talking about have to be the wash bowls. After they're done handling everything, they have wash bowls. And you don't anoint yourself. That is something only for the priests and kings. I still don't get where this was going. They're just going into exile. Well, when did he tear down and then rebuild it? I detest them, I'll deliver the city and it contains. Say one to the innermost house. Anyone else, one will say the answer, keep quiet, for the name of YHVH is not mentioned. The old wife is going to command that the great house be smashed to pieces and the smaller house into fragments. That's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm not seeing anything here that makes sense. I mean, I understand the words, don't get me wrong there, but if he's going to command, why he's going to command that the great house be smashed to pieces and small house to fragments? When? Why? How come? What's going on? I mean, and now do horses run on rocks? Does one plow with and plow the rocks with an oxen? Yet you have turned aside from justice into poison, and the fruit of righteousness into wormwood. I don't know if it's wormwood that you turned fruit into, so that needs correcting. This, I can't recall what this is, but it's going to be a city. Okay, all of this doesn't matter. All this above, everything here it doesn't give us a time, date, when this is going to happen. None of this. And even up here, nothing. This is just, I don't get it. Why would you just put crap together that doesn't make any sense? Pagan places are remembered because they had transgressions. They didn't even know what commandments are, so how did they transgress? I mean, after a king's mowing, okay, the king had lawnmowers, okay? Well, you know what I mean. Out there trimming and taking care of the yard. Just took goats in there, and the goats would mow it down for them because they don't pull up the roots where a ram does. So a ram would be destroying the land. So, and when it had finished eating the vegetation in the land, please pardon how Jacob can stand for he is small. He changed his mind about this, not so whatever our creator just said here, he talks to our creator and he doesn't do anything. He changed his mind about this. Then maybe he was calling contention with them by fire and consumed it. The great deep it began to consume. The great deep consumed the, I don't know. Okay, so this is a prophecy here. And I don't see it. This is definitely telling me that's a 4 verse. This would be almost like Benjamin. Benjamin was the smallest of the tribes. And then he changes his mind again. Okay. But we still don't know who this is. I don't know. Now this. High places of Isaac? No, Isaac never went on to another god. If he showed him, thus he showed me himself was standing by this vertical. Oh, an angel was standing by a vertical wall with the plumb line in his hand. And YHVH said to me, "What do you see, Amos?" And I said, "A plumb line." So much that he didn't see all this. Then Lord said, "I am about to put a plumb line in the midst of Israel, and I will spare them no longer. Yet high places will be desolate, and their sanctuary. They aren't sanctuaries. These would be these wouldn't be sanctuaries." Now, I'm going to have to look at this later. I'm just reading just to see what is absolutely junk here. Because then this, if he's a priest at Bethel, he's a pagan priest. Sent word to Jeroboam, king of Israel, saying, "Amos has conspired against you in the midst of the house of, in the kingdom of Israel. The land is unable to endure his words." What did he say? He's going to make the high places the, are these those tall pillars that we know that's there, will be desolated, and what are, I guess, temples, sanctuaries will be laid waste. But here he's in the vision, he's seeing this, and then he says this. And this guy sees the vision. When did he get told about the vision? Oh, man. How terrible can this guy write? And he never went into exile. Jeroboam never went into exile. Well, we'll die by the sword. Israel certainly. Okay, Israel, the kingdom of Israel, people in Israel. Okay. To keep with the 2 verse. I am not a prophet yet. If he's reporting our creator, he's a prophet. Okay. Here he's a herdsman. Or I am a herder. And I grow up sycamore. But why he took me from following, not following. Leading. My flocks, my flock. So you go prophesize, meaning he said to me, go prophesize to my people as well. That's why he is a prophet. I am not a prophet. Okay. Okay, 51 minutes. I'm going to call it here, right here. And because I've got to come back and I've got to look this stuff way over. This is just hurting my little mind. I've got to get some kind of grasp on what's going to happen here and what is happening. Because maybe, because this text seems to have a lot of 2-verse, or could be put into 2-verse or 3-verse. And it is starting to have something that readable, something that has something to it. But it still doesn't. It's hurting my mind, because all of a sudden we're going to have another prophecy right here. Okay, there's another prophecy. These have got to be separated and they got to make sense. I'm just not seeing any of this as truth. I'm really having a hard time with any of it as being true. But if it doesn't make sense, it's not going to be added. I'm not going to put or keep around something that just has gibberish. That's for sure. It are nonsense words. Anyways, this part 2 is over for now. Go on to 3.